Hello everyone, welcome back to the FetchQuest podcast where we talk about video games and more. I am your host Guy, joined by my fellow co-host...
Ah, yes, finally it's done.
Brewer, what did you do?
I did the unachievable, the unthinkable, the unobtainable.
That doesn't answer my question.
I got all of the Bumbo coins.
What?
Yes, after years of searching, I've collected all 987413 Bumbo coins.
Okay, so what did you get as a reward?
I'm glad you asked. I was able to trade it in for the Bumbo statue.
And what does that do? Did you get a new level, a new boss, what?
Nope. It's a 3D model that I can only see on the home screen.
Brewer, that sounds like shit. How long did it take you to get?
Oh, I don't know. The in-game clock maxed out a while ago.
Well, was it worth it?
Probably not. But I guess that's our big question today. Is it worth it to 100% these games? Specifically, getting all the Bumbo coins, maybe?
I don't think getting all the Bumbo coins was worth it.
Yeah, no, it was not worth it. It's sort of like getting all the Korok seeds wasn't worth it for Connor either.
Dude, I still can't believe he did that for both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
He's a masochist. That's all I can say.
Yeah, no, look, he loves the games. Like, I'm not even gonna fault him all too much for that. But the fact that you get nothing again in Tears of the Kingdom and he went through it again, that was insane.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely absurd. AGL Numa must be just laughing
No,
his
literally.
ass off in his office or something.
Yeah, no. But that brings us into today's episode about talking about completion rewards. Is it worth platinuming your games? Yeah. Well, I guess we can answer the question right off the bat. I kind of depends on the game, really.
Yeah, the question has a yes and no answer because it really just depends on the game. Because for most games, I'm pretty happy when I beat them. I'll like to do some extra content, but usually I'm not trying to go for doing every single thing in the game because it gets to the point to where you're doing such menial and dumb tasks usually to get one extra trophy or something that it makes you end up hating the game just because you're doing some dumb bullcrap in it half the time just for the platinum.
Yeah, I mean, some games are infamous about it. I know the Stanley Parable, as I've been informed, is pretty awful. Apparently, it has some tasks that are just not worth it whatsoever. But then again, you have some platinum trophies or some completion rewards that are just really fun. There could be Easter eggs. I know in Astrobot, that game has a very easy platinum, and some of the trophies actually involve you just interacting with certain bots and NPCs for references. And honestly, I'm kind of glad they put them in there because I would have never thought to do them on my initial playthrough and to let me see the reference that they were trying to get me to see. So I actually appreciate the game for just being nudging me into a corner, being hey man, look at the Easter egg we put in the game. And honestly, it made me pretty happy to do that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think the biggest thing is if there's clear objectives for how to 100% something isn't just arbitrary goals the player sets up, I think it's really nice when a developer has something as a reward to say hey, you did a pretty good job. Thank you for playing our game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's honestly I think of some games, for example, that have really cool completion rewards. Some of the games that come to mind are some of the 3D Mario games, Donkey Kong Bonanza included with that, where the typical last thing that you're going to do in these games is defeating the biggest level in the game, the hardest one, where it's just it's a gauntlet that uses everything that you've learned up to this point to make it exciting but also challenging for the player. And then obviously they have the thanks for playing message put into there, which is just really heartwarming. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's really heartwarming because I think as well, once you get to a certain point in the game, I feel if it's 100% for something again really menial, maybe the player doesn't want to play anymore, so at least give them a thank you. But other times they can do some other interesting stuff. One of the most interesting cases I've seen is a game called Mischief Makers for the Nintendo 64. It is one of the weirdest 2D platformers I've ever really played, and it does something really unique at the end too. Because in the game, there's little gems you can collect. These are optional quotation marks, collectibles. And as you go through the game, you're probably going to collect a couple, but not all of them, because some of them are really hard to find, or you have to get a perfect on all the bosses. But the thing is, once you get to the end, it's playing, right? The ending's playing. You're really happy. And then it's going through, but you see there's a little timer. It's like, why is that timer there? And that's because for every gem you get to see more of the ending. Which on one hand, I think that's kind of cool. But on the other hand, it's a Nintendo 64 game that has some obscure bullshit in it. So it also frustrated the hell out of me. Because, like, man, that game was so good, but some of those gems were just obnoxious, and I didn't do the do the rest. I got to see most of the ending, but not all of it.
That's kind of evil. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, no, it's kind of messed up because again, some of those levels are a little janky.
I think I think when games do like the real ending or true ending behind like completion rewards, I think they are very hit or miss. Like the one game in particular that I'm thinking of is Batman Arkham Knight, which I'm not going to spoil what it is, but basically there's a big moment that happens near the end of the game where Batman is having to do something that he doesn't want to do at all, and it's going to change his career as Batman forever, but he has to do it. The thing is, though, is that the game needs a post game, so for Batman to see the full effects of that, he actually has to, in lore, I'm being serious about this, he has to do every single one of the missions to clean up Gotham to make sure that it's in a good state. Then you get to see the true ending. Which in a way it's cool because like, okay, you have to like actually do the work as
You
Batman.
gotta be a hero.
True. But the actual ending of the game just doesn't feel as satisfactory because of that.
Yes, Batman, go jump that mother of five who's stealing from the grocery store so she could feed her kids. She's a criminal, and you need to do it for the platinum.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really hit or miss. Like, I think it's cool when there are like true endings in games where you have to go out of your way to like get a certain ending. Like, I think that's cool and all. Heck, there are even secret endings that I like to collect. Like, I think the Crash Bandicoot games, they have really fun. I'm not gonna say the 100%ing is fun for those games, but I do think they are really cool in the fact that for the time, when you 100% of those games, you could see a teaser for the next game. Like that's like the additional ending that you
Oh yeah, or
get.
that or Banjo Kazooie as well. They would straight up show you like, hey, this is Banjo Kazooie 2.
Yeah, God of War did that a lot too.
Oh yeah, no, they did. I remember playing the first God of War, and then there was a lot of unlockables behind like doing the harder difficulties and doing extra challenges, and it was really cool because also you would see some of the like 3D models of like early concept designs or monsters that got scrapped in the game. It was really awesome, and it felt like just a big thank you for devs for playing the game.
I love concept art as a reward. I really do because that's like the devs just like showing you like, hey, we understand that you care about this game, so we're going to give you like a little more like this is what we used to build the game. This is how we like conceptualized a lot of the things in the game. I think that's really cool, like because a lot of that stuff is gate kept by art books and like concept art books. They have to pay additional money for, so to make that an additional reward for you just playing the game more, I think is really cool.
That was really cool. I do think we have the best of both worlds though, that because I do also like physical art books, just like for supporting the devs, especially in the case of like if it's an indie dev as well that has like a really unique art style. Yeah, I'll probably support them and buy the book, even if it's probably a little pricey.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Like I know the Tears of the Kingdom collector's edition, though expensive, does have a really good art book.
Yeah, that's pretty solid art book.
It has a really good art book. I can't even complain about it. So, I mean, I'm not going to complain on that part either, like, as an example. But, however, there are just some examples where even though you. Even though you may be receiving more and more rewards for just doing the most menial tasks, that might not be worth it for the most part. I know you had a story about the Stanley Parable for completion.
Well, no, not one that I personally played, but more so I just know one of the most annoying objectives for the Stanley Parable, to where there's like a track and you have to do this for like multiple hours, by the way. There's a like baby on it, a PNG of a baby going across the track, and it's going into the fire. You got to press a red button to make sure it doesn't go into the fire. And some of you might be thinking, oh, I'll just use an auto clicker, it'll be real easy. The devs thought of that because they're assholes. So what you have to do as well is they set up another button for the sharks that are going to try to eat the baby, and then you're going to have to go across the room and press that button. and then go back to press the burn baby, I guess, the burn baby button.
Oh,
So they keep adding a lot to it, and the narrator is also just annoying. He's a prick, so it doesn't lead to a really fun time. But that's kind of on purpose, because the Stanley Parable is also just it's kind of self-reflective in that way, to where they want you to do silly stuff like that because they know you will.
yeah, and man, devs at that point, they know some people will actually do it too. They just want to do it to rage bait, which like,
Yeah.
yeah,
You want to know one of the funniest examples of a rage bait I've seen?
what?
So there's this game called Anodyne.
Mhm.
I think I've mentioned on the channel a couple of times. It's sort of like a top-down Zelda-like, but it very much strays from that. At like just kind of the first couple hours of the game. And one of the things about it is there's a lot of completion reward, or you need to collect cards throughout the game to get past gates. Now the thing is, once you get to the end of the game, there's actually a really cool reward of you get to swap around the tiles in the game, and you can get to a bunch of secret areas you're not usually supposed to get to, and some of which will actually glitch the game out, so you have to go back every now and then. But every now and then, you'll find a like card or something that the developer hid. The thing is, though, a couple of these are absolutely obnoxious, especially because in like the dev room that just like has a bunch of test animations and stuff that's actually really cool. There is another gate in there that you need to collect all the cards for. So you're going about, and there's one that has a bunny in it, and there's two gates. So you kind of wonder, how do I get past these gates? Because the thing is, if you try to go reach the bunny that's like the only other thing in the room, it runs away. What you have to do is wait, also like Stanley Parable, like multiple hours, like an egregiously long number of hours. I don't remember the actual number. But the bunny will eventually cross the screen and the gates will lower. And yes, it's pretty freaking stupid, and I would hate it. But at the same time, I do also kind of like secrets like that with the devs, to where they're kind of just throwing something in there to see if anyone has the balls to complete it. Because the funniest part about it is once you collect all the cards, you get past the gate. There's another gate that requires one more card than that's actually in the game. So it's literally impossible to get past, and even if you hack the game, there's literally nothing past it. It's evil.
That sounds awful. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
No, it's kind of crazy because it was actually a game. It's a really fun game to beat, but just 100%ing it is a whole nother deal,
Yeah, no, I get it. Like some games, they can just be awful to complete whatsoever. Like that sounds egregious. Like why would you ever do that? But sometimes there are some games that I feel like they can have like long completion or long platinums that are required. However, I don't think they are like particularly bad, or I think like something you shouldn't try and do.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is kind of like the mid ground I want, like the middle point, the liminal space I'm trying to get at here. There's some games where I think, let me give an example. God of War Ragnarok, for example, I actually did platinum that game, and I have to say, like, it was just a good platinum. Like, I had no issues with it whatsoever. I didn't really get anything for doing everything, but I actually just enjoyed it because a lot of the platinum of that game just involved, like, doing all the content that the game provided. Like, it wasn't, oh, do X thing X amount of times. It wasn't a lot of like, wait, wait at certain location for 5 minutes. It was just like, do the content and you'll get the achievement for it. And I'm honestly like really happy about that because it kind of gives me like a progression meter of like where exactly I am in the completion experience, and also it's just a reminder of like, hey, like you do the stuff in our game, like we're happy about that and we'll reward you for it. Hence why I got the platinum. Even if they didn't really give me a reward, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think most of the platinums I've gone for, because I've never been a like huge trophy hunter, but like most of the ones I've ended up getting is for the games I've already enjoyed a fair amount, but also they don't make me do anything like really stupid. Like a lot of the Souls games, I wouldn't say those are like super hard platinums, but they're kind of just ones to where it's a little tedious because you have to go and beat the game multiple times. The only one I've really done that for so far is Bloodborne, because like Elden Ring and the other ones, it's like I have literally all the other achievements. I just don't feel like going back and playing that massive game like 2 more times to get the other endings. But like Night Rain, when it came out, like I platinumed that easily because there's not really other ending. Well, I mean, there are multiple endings in Night Rain, but not to where I have to replay the game because it's a roguelike. It's kind of what you do. So like that one, I didn't mind platinuming because it's the basic objectives in the game, along with like a couple of extra objectives, like doing some hard task or fighting some hard bosses that I feel rewarded for as a player. Not just talk to smells like shit NPC to get a specific item in a quest line, go across the map and talk to Mr. Smells Like Shit again, talk to Mr. Smells Like Shit wife and hear her bitch about him, and then give you an item that will eventually let you get a different ending.
Yeah, those are pretty. Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
annoying. It sounds like it's an exaggeration. It's really not for the Souls games, but I'd say like Elden Ring is pretty lenient in terms of their platinum. Its platinum trophy. I will say the Souls games are not immune to bad platinum trophies. Dark Souls 3 comes to mind. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no. Dark Souls 3 is like it's so good, especially because like I got most of the trophies because it's just fighting the bosses. That's really fun. I had a good time fighting a lot of these bosses. I even first tried some of them. Man, I don't feel like going for that platinum.
Okay, for context, they stopped doing this for a good reason. But yeah, so Dark Souls 3 has a system called the Covenant system where you join a covenant and you increase the in-game experience of that covenant so that you can unlock more spells, different items, different weapons, etc. And to do this, there's one of two ways to do this, and they're both trash. You can either do PvP battles with people of opposing covenants to increase your invisible XP meter for that covenant, or you can farm consumable items from the same enemies over and over again to keep feeding to the person who gave you the covenant in the first place. Both are terrible because online matchmaking in Dark Souls 3 is awful because either no one plays that game or it's full of people who've put over 1,000 hours into PvP. Tryhards. Or two, you go for the item collecting route, which isn't the best because you have to, if you want the best odds, you go for a luck build, which luck is not the greatest in Dark Souls 3, but you have to dedicate a build to doing that and nothing but that, and then spend hours upon hours of just farming the same enemy over and over and over again just for a chance to give an item that will slightly increase the XP meter. Do this about 6 different times for each covenant. Oh my god.
Yeah, no, again, I think that's the big thing we're talking about because like beating these games and even like beating all the bosses, even though some of them are like notoriously difficult, like Elden Ring, Melania, she's super hard, but it's just when you have to start doing like that repetitive nonsense like that, it's where I just don't care to platinum the games. It's like I always want to beat my games, like make sure I beat them, not drop them, and act like I did. I want to have fun with them. But that's the thing. Once I feel like I've had as much fun with the game as possible, and maybe some of this extra content isn't for me, I'm not really gonna go for it each and every time, unless if I like really love the game. Since like sometimes it's not too bad. It's just a tad annoying. Like recent game I played, Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartending Action. I absolutely loved that game, and I also kind of wanted to get all the achievements for it because I had the majority of them by the time I beat the game. And I noticed like one of the achievements only had like about 4% completion. And it's because it's not even for like anything you do in the visual novel itself. It's because there's a random like shoot 'em up mini game that you have to beat to get the achievement, and it's low because also that mini game's kind of bull, if I'm gonna be honest. But that's the thing, I love the game that much to where I wanted to be able to say I did it. So no, I guess maybe that's why it is worth it to some people because we all want to be able to say we did it. Like a lot of those Souls games, even like Dark Souls 3 as well. Even if we're doing something we hate in those instances, we also want to say like we're fans of it. We did this. I have the biggest achievement and I have the biggest you know what because I spent a lot of time grinding in Dark Souls 3. Look at me, I'm a god gamer.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like Dark Souls 3, like Brewer said, is a fantastic game, but it's also just it's just an additional way for you to put more hours into the game, which is just it's not a well-designed trophy. Honestly, online trophies I would say are tied for New Game Plus trophies for the amount of like monotonous, tedious things you have to do.
I will say online is just slightly worse because again, it very much will depend on the player base at that point.
Yeah.
But I mean, don't get me wrong, New Game Plus ones are pretty annoying as well. But again, that's the thing. A lot of these developers, they aren't intending these trophies for like the average player. Again, these are for the top players who want to beat these games because they love them and they want to do every single thing in it. So yeah, we can complain about it some, but a lot of this stuff is usually always optional, unless if you're playing something like Pikmin, to where getting the true ending is quite literally the 100%.
Yeah, no, literally the Pikmin like 100% is just get all 30 pieces and boom, you're good.
Yep, and it's amazing. It is a masterpiece.
That game is so good.
I love Pikmin.
Yeah, no, oh god, Pikmin, it's so good. Maybe Nintendo's kind of right for not having achievements because I feel like a lot of these games. Oh, imagine if Three Houses had achievements. That'd be.
I would hate if Three Houses had
Oh my
achievements.
god, that would be awful. That game is already learned.
Dude, imagine if there was an achievement for like maxing out the relationship with every single party member.
S rank on every single person.
Yeah, no, same. Because a lot of people say like Three Houses has like some Persona inspiration because it has some similar systems in it, like especially kind of its own version of social links. So imagine you had to deal with that in Three Houses,
That'd be awful.
and then even worse, you have to play like what is it usually in Fire Emblem, like Lunatic Plus difficulty, which is just obnoxious.
Oh, maddening, yeah.
Yeah, no, I hate that.
No, maddening is for like if you just want to challenge.
If you're a
yourself.
sadist,
Yeah.
well, not sadist, masochist.
No, yeah. Even Nintendo's kind of cooking for not having any achievements because, oh boy, that would
I do still kind of wish they would
Yeah.
have achievements because achievements are still fun. Like you get that little dopamine hit. I mean, it is kind of ridiculous when some games have their achievements be like, "Oh, you booted up the game. Here's an achievement. You walked to this place for the first time. Here's an achievement." Instead of it being for like bosses and other actual cool rewards or collecting stuff. Because that's kind of what it got to be with some games, I think, and like the later 360 era, or even like close to Xbox One era and like PlayStation 4, to where a lot of people weren't hunting these trophies because they really cared about the game. It's just like, oh, look at me, I have the 50 platinums. Look at me, I have the biggest you know what.
Dude, getting a platinum on the game ain't that bad. If you enjoy the game and you want to keep doing it, like just keep doing it. Like
Plus, I know there's some games as well. Like I've seen videos of this, of to where there's games people will purposely buy with their money and download just because it's an easy platinum. A lot of time, it's like a lot of those like slop games that are just like you mash A because it's just a simple text story game. Which is not to say those games can be bad or good. It's up to you. But there's a lot of just like slop, if I'm gonna be honest, on like Sony's market. And you download those games and you would see a speed run that gives you the platinum, like 2-minute platinum for the game, and it's just because they did all the skip dialogue options and mashed A through all the text.
yeah, it's getting a speedrun for a like something like that is just like, dude, why? Like,
Yeah, because yeah, you got a platinum, but who cares? You played a game for 2 minutes and you didn't even really play it. You mashed through all the dialogue.
who cares?
Yeah, so yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe Nintendo was onto something, but I do still kind of wish they had achievements. Though I will say I would never 100% a lot of their games, especially the fucking Xenoblade games, because those are so long.
Also, I just kind of hate the idea that some quests are only available at like a singular hour in the day that's very missable and whatnot. No, that'd be terrible.
Yeah, no, Xenoblade 2 would be absolute hell to complete, especially with the gacha system and stuff. Well, I mean, you can complete it, but just like there's no actual trophies. Because, again, completion doesn't always come down to just like these trophies and stuff you get. A lot of times it comes down to like what you yourself as the player decide, and I feel like that's maybe a good spot for final points because like let's say Persona 5 Royal. The original Persona 5 was known to be a pretty hard platinum to get. Persona 5 Royal was known to be like a lot easier, and the main reason for that is because a lot of those actual completion goals, like one of the bosses you had to fight a New Game Plus, they didn't make that a trophy. But the thing is, if I was wanting to say I 100%ed Persona 5 Royal, should I say it's for the platinum, or should I say it's actually for like getting that 100% mark in the game
Which is very different.
which is into like actual Thieves Den and stuff. So that's the thing. I think you yourself as a player, we just need to decide. It's like, when if you stopped having fun with the game, when is it time to maybe move on and play something else? Maybe play something else the developers made, play something similar, or just play something completely different. There's a lot of games out there. Maybe I shouldn't be wasting my time trying to 100% something if I'm not having fun anymore. But maybe if I do find it worth it, yeah, go for the 100%.
Yeah, I mean, that leads into my points as well. Like, I feel like getting the 100% and the Platinum Trophy, I think they can be similar, they can be the same, but they can also be very vastly different. And I think that we as players need to understand when to draw that line and just how much we're willing to put into a video game. Like Brewer said, once we stop having fun, we do need to reconsider like what exactly we're doing. Like, I get it. Sometimes you do it for the content. Sometimes you do it just for the just to say you did it. Like, that's completely fair. But honestly, like, as a player, you do need to decide for yourself whether or not it's worth it or not. Like, would we say it's worth it to 100% high guard? No, because you can't play it whatsoever.
No, you can't play it.
So I'm not gonna make a private server for that. So that's something I would say wouldn't be worth it. But maybe something like Hollow Knight could be worth it, because even though that game is atrociously difficult, especially with its late game content, it's still new content all the way till the end. So that's something as a player I need to decide for myself to whether or not I'm willing to invest it or not. But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode of FetchQuest. Leave a like and comment down below if you want to talk about some of the games that you've 100%ed. Please subscribe if you haven't. And tell us, what are some of your favorite games that you've platinumed or completed? But with that being said, guys, thank you so much for 100%ing this video. We've been FetchQuest, and we'll catch you later.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye!